This is from the Hawkeye of the Storm. I'm Corey Brada. We're talking about my Week 1 selections. We have one weekend in the books. We've had a couple games already this week, including a comeback victory for the Ohio State Buckeyes over Minnesota. Quite an effort from the Gophers on Thursday night, but just too little too late. And Mo Ibrahim, their star at running back, goes down with an injury. As we're recording this here Friday evening, Northwestern doing battle with Michigan State right now. The Spartans on top, but a battle right now over on ESPN. And Kansas, no surprise here, trailing South Dakota. Thought I'd add that in with just 3.5 to go in the fourth quarter. But let's talk about the games on Saturday, because obviously a ton of games to talk about, including Iowa, Indiana. We'll pick that game last here at From the Hawkeye of the Storm. But first of all, Saturday morning, Penn State, Wisconsin, 19 versus 12 here. Again, we're looking at the AP poll at this point in the season. This game will be an 11 a.m. Central Time start on Fox. Right now, Wisconsin with the 5.5-point line, but pretty even if you look at home field advantage here as far as Vegas is concerned. I like Wisconsin. I don't have a lot of faith in Penn State right now. Not real strong at quarterback. I don't feel great about quarterback for Wisconsin either. But if I was looking at consistency between the trenches, that would be the tiebreaker for me. And clearly, year in and year out, that goes to Wisconsin. Temple, Rutgers, interesting game in the Big Ten. Game that was moved because of flooding, moved to Saturday. I will take Rutgers here, but you never know how teams are going to handle a situation like what we've seen with Hurricane Ida. It's affecting literally everybody, it seems like, east of the Mississippi. But I will take Rutgers there. Stanford, Kansas State. That game, by the way, the Rutgers-Temple game will be on BTN, 11 a.m. Central Time. Stanford, Kansas State, that game will be an FS1 game at 11 a.m. I will take the Stanford Cardinal there. Nebraska looking for a bounce-back win over Fordham, and certainly they need it. An abysmal performance by much of that team. Oliver Martin played well, former Iowa wide receiver, transferred to Nebraska, had over 100 yards receiving, but they're trying to bounce back from a pretty sad performance against Illinois week 0. But I will take Nebraska to take down Fordham. How about this game? Fun one. Big 12 versus Big 10. It's West Virginia, Maryland. High-scoring affair. I could see this being a 40-30 type of game. I'm going to take West Virginia. I don't have a lot of faith in Mike Locksley. I saw the Big Ten Network really promoting the fact that he has sent in Kevin Durant and Michael Phelps in recent days to be sort of inspirational speakers for Maryland, but I definitely have more faith in what West Virginia has going right now. That will be a 2:30 p.m. Central game on ESPN. West Virginia is favored slightly on the road. How about Pac-12 versus Big Ten? Preview of possibly an alliance game here in the coming seasons. Another game I could see being high scoring. I wouldn't predict it as high scoring as the West Virginia-Maryland game. I will take Purdue. They're at home. It's a long travel for Oregon State. And I could see this, again, being in the 30s, but I will take Purdue. Jeff Brom needs a game like this. He is on the hot seat. If they have a losing season, he's absolutely on the hot seat. This is a game he needs early to make sure that they're in position to get to 500 later in the season. And Texas San Antonio trying to upset an Illinois team that's got tons of momentum right now behind first year at Illinois head coach Brett Bielema. I will take Illinois, but watch out here because these are a lot of guys who aren't really used to, a lot of these guys aren't used to winning football games, and there was a lot of hype. I mean, that Illinois-Nebraska game was the spotlight game nationally last week. I think you would give it the nod over UCLA and Hawaii. So I worry a bit of a letdown, but again, Texas San Antonio, Illinois should be able to get this done at 6:30 p.m. Central Time on the Big Ten Network. Let's take a look at some non-Big Ten games, and then we'll come back to the Big Ten to make our Indiana-Iowa selection. So sliding down here, again, we're on Saturday, but we did miss one game. Let's throw this game in there before we move on. Michigan and Western Michigan. Talk about hot seat. Jim Harbaugh loses this game. There are going to be rumblings of him getting fired midseason, and probably rightfully so. There were rumblings last year that he would resign. Of course, he did not, and we move on. But I will take Michigan. I will be shocked if they lose this game. It will be an 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff on ESPN. Again, this is on Saturday. Moving on down the list here on Saturday, non-Big Ten games. We've got some marquee games. How about number 1, Alabama at number 14, Miami? I would love to see Miami win this game, but there's no way that I'm going to be able to predict that. I did talk about, we co-hosted a portion of Mark Rogers' live show on his channel yesterday. I'm recording this on Friday, so we co-hosted that on Thursday night, the night of the Ohio State game, and talked a little bit about how, again, Hurricane Ida, how it's affecting everybody. We don't want to trivialize that, but certainly that could affect teams like Alabama, LSU. I mean, you can go down the list, teams that were their home base was affected, and of course the citizens, and I'm sure many alumni and even family members for some of the players and certainly the coaches were affected by Ida, so you never know how these players are going to handle that. Moving on down the list even further here, how about Northern Iowa and number 7 Iowa State? Certainly you don't have a trap game week 1, I wouldn't think, although Iowa State does have Iowa coming to town next week. Northern Iowa has a history of giving the Cyclones problems. I think Iowa State has just far and away too much talent for you and I this year. This will be a 3:30 p.m. game. You will not be able to watch this unless you're an ESPN Plus subscriber. So if you're a Cyclone fan, get ESPN Plus right now, and you'll be able to watch them beat up on the Panthers. How about the Ragin' Cajuns, Louisiana Lafayette? Speaking of Iowa State, a team Louisiana Lafayette, I should say, beat last year, came into Ames and won early during the COVID-reduced season. Louisiana will go on the road, again, amid the turmoil back home. They'll go on the road and play at number 21 Texas. I like the Longhorns here. Could see this being a competitive game. Would not be surprised, especially if Louisiana is playing for their state. I could see, again, close game. I don't see Louisiana pulling this game off, but I will take Texas in a close one. 3:30 p.m. Central Time on Fox. San Jose State, USC. USC now 15 in the country. San Jose State with a win. They played last week. I like the Trojans to get it done. That's the USC Trojans. I believe the San Jose State, I think they're the Spartans, right? But I will take USC there in a blowout. Texas Tech, Houston could be sort of a foreshadowing of a future Big 12 game. Of course, we've heard more rumors here in the last 24 hours about Houston joining the Big 12. That game will be at 6 o'clock on ESPN. I like Texas Tech on the road, but this should be a good one, the Texas kickoff game. Moving on down the line here, let's get to a marquee game in the Southeast. How about Georgia, the 5th-ranked Bulldogs, on the road at number 3 Clemson? I like the Bulldogs, 6:30 p.m. on ABC. Going with my heart over my head here, I will take Georgia in a battle. Northern Illinois, Georgia Tech. Sort of an intriguing matchup. Some significant travel here for the Northern Illinois Huskies coming out of the MAC to sort of an interesting offense, as we know Georgia Tech touts. I will take the Yellow Jackets here, 6:30 p.m. ACC Network. And number 16 number 16 LSU taking on UCLA, 7:30 p.m. Central Time on Fox. Should be a good one. UCLA looked great last week against Hawaii. Is it enough? I don't believe it is. I will take the Tigers. But again, a battle in California. This should be a good one. Again, 7:30 p.m. Central Time on Fox. BYU, Arizona, 9:30 p.m. ESPN. I will take BYU. Arizona's not in a good spot right now as a program. Sunday, we got a Sunday game. How about number 9 Notre Dame at Florida State? Should be another good one. I've got the upset here. Florida State knocking off the Irish. You heard it here first. 6:30 p.m. Central Time, ABC on Sunday. And then Monday, we've got a game. Louisville, Ole Miss in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game, 7 p.m. on ESPN. I like the Rebels to get it done against the Louisville Cardinal. Thank you for joining us for our weekly Pick'em segment here at From the Hawkeye of the Storm. As a reminder, if you're an Iowa fan or an Indiana fan for that matter, following the Iowa-Indiana game, we will be sitting down with Don Patterson, Coach Don Patterson, former assistant under Hayden Fry, to talk about the game. And with that being said, it's time to make our pick for what we believe here at Iowa, at the Voice of College Football, and From the Hawkeye of the Storm to be the biggest game of the week, and that is number 17, Indiana, and number 18, Iowa. If you caught our season prediction show, you know who I'm going to pick. I've got the Hawkeyes, not because I'm a homer, although I am, but because I believe that the talent level I think Vegas got it right. I think talent-wise, these two teams are in very similar positions, very good positions in their respective divisions. But I like Iowa with the home field advantage. Penix and Petrus, neither of them have had much of a history with crowds, but Petrus has the home crowd. So I will take Iowa in a close one. Final score, 24-26, Iowa. How will Iowa get to 26? We'll have to wait and see. But again, Iowa 26, Indiana 24, Kinnick Stadium, 2:30 p.m. Central Time on the Big Ten Network. And then right after the game, join us over at Iowa at the Voice of College Football for a live post-game show where you can chat, call in, and Coach Don Patterson will be there to break it all down. Thank you for joining us for our weekly Pick'em segment here at From the Hawkeye of the Storm. We will talk to you soon. Go Hawks.